Hey guys, Nate Prater here, standing out in a cornfield mid to late August, early September, and you know, 2020 has been a fun year. Probably a little bit better than 2019, and we got some corn planted in April, in May, and June, and some of this April corn now is starting to senesce, starting to mature, and we're starting to see some of the stalks have some issues. Not every field, not every variety. But you go back and remember what late July, early August was like here in 2020. We had cool temps, cool nights, plenty of moisture, and if you kept your disease in check, these plants were very, very happy, and therefore throwing as much energy as they could into the stalk, into the kernel. Now, roll forward here to the end of August, and it's 95 degrees. It's a little dry in spots. And these plants have wrote such a big check to cash into these kernels and do a good job there, and they did. They kind of forgot about the nutrients needed to keep the stalk alive, maybe keep the leaves healthy. So we had perfect conditions, had perfect water, weather, temperature, disease, all that early. And now that it's getting hot and dry, maybe the disease pressure's kicked in with southern rust, or we ran out of nitrogen. It's used all its energy towards that ear, and it can't go back and get it. It's got to rob it from somewhere, and it's robbing it from the stalk. And you're starting to see stuff on the edges of the fields, like I'm gonna show you here, like top dieback. So this would be the top of the corn plant, perfectly healthy, and then the top two leaves and the tassel are basically dead. You see this plant behind me right here. I don't know. Hopefully you can see that. Top 3-4 leaves are dead. You get to the bottom of it, you can do a push test. Usually it'll break off, it'll break over. Now this corn was planted in April. It's starting to mature, but I highly suggest you get out in your fields, especially your April corn. Take a peek at things. Products like 08D29, 10L16, 09Y24, you know, some of those. Keep an eye on them. They do a great job of putting kernels on the ear and keeping those kernels big, but sometimes towards the end they can rob the stalk to finish, and that's what could happen here. On the backside, products like 10D21, 13Z50, some of those products, 13M88, look very, very strong. Their stalk's good and their ear is good. So we got to learn something here by getting out into these April plots, and I'm assuming May planted corn and June planted corn could do the same thing later in life, depending on the weather. But get out in these plots, take a peek at not only our stuff, Golden Harvest products, but also take a look at the competitors. If just late season intactness could come apart on some of these hybrids because everything was perfect at kernel fill, and then now that it's getting hot and dry in some areas, it's going to rob things to finish. So get out there, take a peek at the corn plants, do a push test, do a lean test, dig up a few roots, check the crown, and keep an eye out that. I'm going to send out a one-pager, or a two-pager actually, from Purdue University on stalk rots, and hopefully this helps a little bit. But if you got any questions, give me a shout, and I'll be happy to talk. Thanks.